Hello everybody, and I've got the wrong avatar on because literally I'm just at the finishing the other stream. So I'm literally at the finishing the member stream and I never changed the bloody avatar. So hold on, let us correct that because we're not actually watching Christopher Eccleston. I did that just a few minutes ago, watching Dalek. I was just saying for anybody that'll watch later that's a member, I was just saying how brilliant and intense Eccleston's acting was in that episode. Watching it again just reminded me how good Doctor Who used to be. It was absolutely sensational. I was even saying to Jordan that stream that, you know, sometimes Paul McGann and other doctors will rate higher than Christopher Eccleston because he has the one season. But if you look at that one season and go back and watch it, he should be rating a lot higher. Forget about the personal stuff and the fact that he can be a bit of a, you know, yourself. But on Doctor Who, he should be up there in the top 10 lists. And sometimes he doesn't even get into the top 10, which is a shame. Which is a shame, in my opinion. Just before we do start, I've obviously, just in case he's listening, I have my phone on charge, so I haven't been able to reply to you, but I did see the message pop up. So Lee won't be joining us tonight because he's got a bit of a cold. So I just want to wish Lee the best and get well soon, pal. Get well soon. We don't like anybody, you know yourself. We don't like anybody when anybody is sick. So you take care of yourself and get some rest. So I've just seen in the chat there, apparently the new episode, the centenary, is going to be called Dry. I mean, what the... I mean, I just can't put into words how when I saw that, how stupid that is. Dry. We'll see what it means anyway, but it's going to be something ridiculous. I mean, Lives of the Doctor, if that had been the title, I think we all would have been worried. But now it's called Dry, so we don't know what the feck is going to happen. If that's what it's called, that's what apparently it's been called. I don't know. I don't care anyway. We will watch it and do the reviews and all, but once that's done, we move on. But let's get straight into this and bring our guests on. And again, because as I said, I didn't organize myself properly. The TARDIS Talks logo came up, so I've changed the background as well. I'm an idiot, but I literally had 3 minutes to swap over. But right, so I see there is a new person in the chat. So this is what happens, just to explain to anybody that's new. What we all do is we have a copy of The Caretaker. That's the episode that we're watching tonight. So if you have a Blu-ray or DVD or a box set of Peter Capaldi's fourth season, go to The Caretaker episode, right? What happens is we bring our guests on and then we're going to do a countdown and you press play at the same time. So you're watching the episode as we're talking about the episode. So we just got a couple of, as he said there, he's just getting set up. So I'll give you a couple of seconds while I introduce the guests, and I'll actually get our opinions on this this so-called title of the centenary. So that'll give you a few minutes to get set up. So if you have your DVD or Blu-ray, pop it in, right? Wait for the countdown, press play, and join us. So then you know what we're talking about, you know? So, okay, let's do this. Let's bring on our guests. So, as usual, we've got our panel, but this guest that we bring on is a bit of royalty. So, a bit of respect for the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
No, you should have said nice. You right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, look, we'll get that sorted out now in a minute. You got the usual bots in the chat. I mean, that needs to be sorted out. It's not actually humans. I don't know what this is. YouTube have said that just report it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's appearing in lots of chats. So it's not an actual person.
It's not an actual person. So while I bring on my next guest, I will sort that out if it hasn't been sorted already. But our next guest is the one and only real super doctor. I don't know what's super about the doctor, but let's find out.
I just made it up. I made it up.
It's brilliant. I love it. You know, I always take the piss out of that name, but I love it. I love it. And our next guest, and wait, you see that avatar.
I know PD's done something.
Yeah. Our next guest is the one and only PD Rich.
Right.
Is that actually official? Was that an announcement that was made that I've missed because I've been doing watch-alongs? Is it an actual official announcement, or is this a rumor?
I don't know if it's official or not.
It's a rumor.
It's a rumor.
It's an alleged insider, like the term that we always hear, and that's just it. He was just told, I think, some Facebook pages. It just screams to me of, especially the fact that dry, that's gonna just mean nothing.
Is it a Doctor Who? Is it a Doctor Who fan page that's been thrown up a lot of? Is that where it's come from?
I don't know where from.
Because if it is them, I will say this: credit where credit is due. They've gotten some stuff right. Now, where they're getting the information from, I do not know, but they have gotten. So if it's them that's reporting it, then I wouldn't dismiss it off the bat. But there is this other title, obviously, Lives of the Doctor, that has been floating about as well. Look, if it's dry, I mean, I find that kind of ironic because the whole.
Well, I've heard two reasonings in this rumor, which is it's because Jodie, which we have heard this rumor quite a few times, this Coldplay song, which apparently is going to be playing while she regenerates, and apparently there's a line in it that has dry.
Yeah.
And the other thing that just sounds so cringy, it could be true, is if you look at the letters, it's Doctor plus Y, so Yaz.
I knew. So it probably is gonna happen. I knew. He said, "Do you know what? I don't even care about Tasman anymore, right? The fact of the matter is, right, it's done shabbily, but if these people in the fandom think that he's some sort of genius because he's representing them and he's being nice to them, fine, right? But I'm gonna look at it with a cold eye and tell you out straight. He said that he was gonna play around with Tasman. He does not give two shits about any of yous in the fandom. He doesn't. He's pandering to you. Open his eyes, man. And if a Coldplay song is actually playing Jordan her regeneration or whatever.
I think that's going to happen.
Right?
I really
because she's a Coldplay fan and she did do Yellow. If that is the case, if that is going to happen, that is the cringiest thing I have ever heard in my life. There's not supposed to be that a pop song or whatever they are. A commercial song being played during a regeneration. No way. Get away. That's, do you know what? That's Chibs telling Sequin Akinola, sorry, but your music is shite.
Yeah, I don't trust it for the regeneration, basically.
Yeah. And again, that people should be fucking outraged about that, but they won't be. They all know it's been the usual crap. Oh, I'll give you a laugh, right? I'll give you a laugh. Apparently, I'm woke and I'm an apologist for RTD. One of our own has turned on me and wrote up and bitched about me on Facebook. Now, I'm just going to cover it briefly here. But all I'll just say is there's some people that I know that are in that group, Facebook group, fair enough. But I've seen some of the posts in that Facebook group, and all I'm just going to say is it's an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace, right? You can call me woke and I'm an apologist for RTD. No, I'm not. Right? So I got accused of taking me time to call him out. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt the first time. But what did I say to everybody on this channel? If he did it a second time, what would I do? I would call him out. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. Then apparently I'm a hypocrite because I like Shooty's casting. And I'm in favour of Rose's casting. Right? And they say, well, you're a bit of a hypocrite because you judged Jodie Whittaker and criticised her before she was on screen. Yeah, I did. But I'm not a hypocrite, and I'll explain it. It's as simple as this. When Jodie got the role, she did a lot of interviews, right? And she laid her stall out very early. She told fans basically, it's the white male gaze. That I'm not playing a gender. All of this nonsense. Then she did the stylist video. Then we got the glass ceiling video. Even before she did one scene in the show. So that's why I was able to judge her. And because she was in other stuff that I had seen years before. Right? So that's why I judge her. Has Shooty shot his mouth off and said any of those things? No. Rose hasn't been cast yet. But will she do it? Probably not. Yasmin Finney has said a few things because of her being transgender, all right. But has she actually came out and start attacking fans and this, that, and the other? No, she's done none of that. So that's the difference, right? Not being a hypocrite, right? Absolutely not. Jodie Whittaker had already given us enough before, and everybody had judged her before she actually came on screen because of those interviews, because of the glass ceiling video, because of the stylist video where she's mocking fans, right? Shooty has done none of that. And again, I will just point out one more thing and then I'm going to drop this, right? Just one more thing, right? Yous are all judging RTD based off the last 5 years because of these castings. Yous are automatically jumping the gun and saying, oh, it's a tick box and a diversity hire, right? Yous don't know that. I don't know that.
We don't know yet.
I do know is this. If you look at his first era, right? That's your evidence, right? And the way the interviews that he has done to talk about Doctor Who, you will see that he thinks of Doctor Who differently to any other TV show that he has done. Now, has he helped himself with the stuff that he's come out with lately? No, and I said that. But at the end of the day, right, just because he's saying stuff out in the public, which he did in 2005, by the way, he's probably a bit more extreme this time round. But did it affect his Doctor Who? No, it didn't. Was anybody complaining about Martha Jones' skin colour back in the day? This is the thing. This is the thing. You're obsessed with skin colour. You're obsessed with the fact that Rose was deaf, right? And you're obsessed with the fact that Yasmin is trans. You need to get over yourself. Nothing has been, you haven't seen nothing. So, no. The funny part of that whole thing was, I'm gone woke and the TARDIS zone can't be trusted. And they posted this on a Facebook group.
By their deeds you shall know them. In other
Right,
words, let them do the bloody role and then judge afterwards.
And then this is the thing. Then said, I'm suppressing your freedom of speech. That's not freedom of speech, right? Going around and saying things like, how can the new companion, if the new companion's deaf, how can they lip read a Dalek? Right? That's not an opinion. Right? That's not free speech. I'm sorry, but I don't care anymore. Right? I'm not holding back. Yeah, there's some people in this fandom that ought to be ashamed of themselves. This person has also said, I've got the screenshot, by the way. I just haven't thrown it up because I'll deal with it here. Right? But this person has also said that Deep the Meat story has been changed and stuff. And RTD is going to groom our kids. Because all the leftist twats, apparently, that's all they want to do. That is not true, by the way, either. Right? That is not true, by the way, either. It's a generalization that you're all throwing out there because you're all listening to the bigger YouTubers because they're going around calling everybody that works for Disney that word. Many times I have to think for yourselves anyway. Don't be repeating the same shit and the same buzzwords as that other side. Right? There's some people gotten out of hand here, and they're thinking that I'm not suppressing free speech, right? It's not free speech to fucking slag someone off because they're deaf, or to have And listen, then they turn around and says about me being a fan of Shooty's doctor. I've always advocated. I've even said Richard Ayoade, right? Fucking Michael Shane. I've never been opposed to the doctor being, I don't care what fucking race, right? Once for me, the main thing was always, if the doctor is a man, I'm happy, right? It doesn't matter then the color of their fucking skin, right? So no, it's not free speech, okay? You were out of line. A couple of people in the chat called you out as well, so you were removed. And you want to go bitch about me? I did respond to them on Facebook as well, and then they came back with me with this big long crap again, repeating, oh, you're just as bad as Doomcock. Your rumors are fake and all this. Well, you showed your true colors. And if anybody else has a problem, and I will say this, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but if you do have a problem with Shooty because he's black and gay, I can't stand for that. I'm sorry, right? You don't judge someone based off the way they look and because who they're sleeping with or whatever, right? That's absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry, but it's gone too far, and someone has to say so. The line has to be drawn somewhere, right? Now, I'm going to give RTD a chance because of his forced area, right? And if it turns out to be as bad as everybody thinks it's going to be that are giving me grief, I will call it out. I will say it's bad, but then I'm done. I'm walking away because I'm not going to spend the next 4 or 5 years complaining about it. I get the message, Doctor Who is not for me anymore. I'll move on. But to call me woke is the funniest thing. Even when I said Cheryl read the message to me, she was like, she laughed. She burst out laughing. Right? I'm sorry. Look, you've been doing it for weeks. I've called you out on this channel before. You all know who I'm talking about now, because I've called them out on this channel a few times with some of the fucking disgusting things they've said. And some people in the chat have actually even agreed with me because they've said leave it out. Right? So you're done. And I'm not suppressing your free speech because what you're saying isn't free speech. You're just being a nasty, vindictive idiot. And I haven't got time for people like that. Now, if you want to continue to have the beliefs that you have, go ahead, but do it elsewhere. And if that's suppressing free speech or if that's what people think, I don't care. I'm not going to have... I'm sorry. The reason why this whole thing with Rose kind of resonates with me is because I have 2 sisters, right? One was bet up so bad that she actually, her eardrum exploded. And obviously it's putting stress on the other ear. So she's going to need a hearing aid soon. I've got a sister that is deaf already in one ear, right? And she's losing the hearing in the other ear. And my father's the same. The hospital fecked up his ear years ago. He got an operation and they screwed up his ears. So he's also hearing impaired. So when I hear someone come in and say, oh, well, this new companion should be picked because she's deaf, how could you lip read it that? I'm going to get fucking offended by it. And if that means I'm woke, well then you could say whatever you want. You don't even know what the word fucking woke means anyway. That's the bottom line. You just throw that word around. You don't even know what the word means, right? And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sorry, right? It has to stop from both sides of the fandom, not just but both sides. Everything needs to stop. All the bullshit needs to stop, because if it doesn't, the fandom, in my belief, is already dead in the water. But we just need to stop. It can't get any. It can't. We cannot allow it to get any worse. And I'm sorry, as I said, that Facebook group, to me, looking at some of the other posts that I've seen in it, and some people that I know are in that group, I'm not going to tell you whether you should leave or not. That's up to you yourselves. But after and I wouldn't even mind you the admin. So he talks shit about me. He said, I don't know if you'll see this, but it's his group. I'm not in his group. So I decided to see if he'll let me join. And he does. So I'll go in and say me piece. And then after I said me piece, I left the group. Right? But I wanted to say it again publicly, because how fucking dare you be that disgusting towards people that have done you no harm whatsoever. And I hope Rose is cast now. I hope she is. And you know what? I hope he brings in more diverse people. right? Just to piss you all off. I don't really care because you know why? I'll tell you one thing. I know his writing will be up to scratch anyway, and that'll all be irrelevant because people that truly want to watch this show, we won't see skin color, we won't see sexual preference, we won't see any of this. We'll just see great characters, great writing, and stories that we can get behind. Now, I've said me piece, and I'm going to shut up now because I need to calm down.
Oh, and in good news, Matt's absolutely caning it on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm so
House of
happy.
Dragon. Listen, I'm going to say
I think
something
really
about House
quite
of
good,
Dragon
actually.
real briefly, but I don't want to get into it because I will do a stream. So if you're interested, if anybody's watched House of Dragon and you're very interested, we will do a panel. How about that? Because I actually want to talk about it. Because, again, this show has been slated from day one, just like the Rings of Power. The Rings of Power more so because you can blatantly see that they're fucking changing everything, right? So they're valid there,
Yeah.
right? But with House of Dragon, most of the anger is still with Game of Thrones, right? And you could see that it's bleeding in. But I'm going to be honest with you. There's people out there like Doomcock saying, well, I don't care if it's good or not, because we all know how Game of Thrones ended. But that's not the attitude to have, folks. I'm being serious. I hated the ending of Game of Thrones. It was it just went everything that I believed that the characters it was wrong. It was handled badly, right? But to take it out on House of Dragon, right, in my opinion, is wrong. The first episode, I'm going to be honest, I went into it because, you know, I had seen some of the negativity, but I'd also seen some positive stuff. But I did go in with that kind of mindset. I'm not going to lie, I had a bit of negativity towards it because, you know, the Game of Thrones ending. But within 15 minutes, that evaporated with me. And I was just like, wow. And Matt Smith, can we just say how Matt Smith should be fucking doing... He should have a better career than he has. I know that sounds horrible to say, right? But the way Hollywood has treated that man is sickening, in my opinion. Oh my God. Again, he plays this... He's being typecast a little bit now, I've noticed, though, because he gets to play these kind of sinister characters. But when he has that smile on his face, but you can see his eyes that he's going to murder someone, he's going to kill them all. I was like, oh my God. And for all you fangirls out there as well, you do get to see him naked. So there you go.
Yeah.
And this is what this is what they say there, Willie P. House of Dragon are only two things: wigs and woke nonsense. No, it's not. No, it's not. You probably haven't even seen the episode. Because that's the next thing I was going to bring up is they're all complaining about the wigs.
I think that looks good. I think he suits
but that's the thing.
Hair.
They've nothing to actually complain about. So they'll complain about stuff that they think is an easy target. So the wigs are the thing now.
Right? It's
not woke garbage. Even Gary has been complimentary about the episode, right? And I've seen Jane Theory as well. She gave it an 8 out of 10. Right? So, listen, you can listen to the buzzwords and listen to other people out there that are telling you it's shite. Unless you watch it yourself, right? You don't know what you're talking about, right? It's not woke nonsense. I've watched it myself, right? Tell me what was woke about. You do know what story they're telling.
Oh, the jousting scene was excellent.
I do believe that people are reacting to member berries when it comes to these shows. Remember, people are willing to accept the BS just to make their issues... relevant, like Doctor Who. But this is a member berries. This is a... How is it... Look, I'm not gonna... I'm not gonna do this today. I mean, it just seems like they all pop up like weeds. Look, if you don't like the show or you haven't watched the show, right? I'll say this to you: if you haven't watched the show, you cannot claim that House of Dragon is two things: wigs and woke nonsense, right? Because you haven't watched it. If you've watched it and that's your opinion, you're entitled to that opinion, and I'll leave it there. Okay? I will leave it there. Okay? Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming episode that we're going to be watching, folks, while I get it ready there.
Caretaker, folks.
Caretaker. Cheryl was actually telling me that she actually likes this episode.
Yeah, it's quite a good episode. This.
People, I says, well, there's a lot that don't like it, Cheryl. But she said she thought it was good. I says the why because I had to explain which one it was to her because she was kind of caretaker. Which one is that? But when I told her, she actually likes this episode.
Yeah,
But next week,
little
sorry,
snippet
Petey.
for you. Sorry, a little snippet of information. I think Jimmy V is actually in the robot suit for this one. Who played Barrack Appalata.
Oh,
Behind the scenes bit of gossip.
nice one. I like him. It was sad when he died in Voyage of the
He
Damned.
plays a lot of very short characters in Doctor Who throughout.
Seriously. Well,
Moffat
rightly
and,
fucking so. He's a good actor, man.
Yeah, he is.
Good actor. I loved him in fucking
But that's what
Voyage
we
of the
got. Just
Damned.
getting back to what we were discussing before. I don't mind if they're a good actor and they can play the role. I don't mind, what colour they are, how tall they are, what disabilities they've got. As long as they can perform the role.
That's it. That's the point.
That's
this is why I'm so fucking annoyed about it. Is we are judging RTD based off the last 5 years. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're basing it off the decisions that Chibs made and why they were made. Right? But the evidence shows because of his forced era that RTD is not about that. Yes, okay, they might be to you guys tick boxes and diversity hires. But here's the thing. Even if they were, right? PD has made the point there. Even if they were, right? What if they do well and they act well and the stories are great and they don't focus on all of that? Are you still going to moan about it?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't get it. I mean, he introduced John Barrowman. John Barrowman's clearly a gay man. Was everybody complaining about John Barrowman back in the day? No. Alonzo. Was people giving out about Alonzo? Was people giving out about Mickey Smith, Martha Jones? Come on. No. That's me fucking point.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like Rose very beginning until about 2 or 3 episodes in and I thought she was all right.
I was watching Dalek tonight. She's responsible for 200 deaths in that Henry Van Staten episode.
Whoops.
Because your woman says it. So it was her hand. Even the Dalek says, no, she goes, it's your fault. And the Dalek goes, no, it was because it was us. Right? But the doctor was blaming Van Staten. And I was like, no, you can't blame Van Staten. It's Rose's fault. It's Rose's fault. She put her hand on the Dalek. The Dalek got free. And 200 people died. And I says, because I asked a lot of questions in the member stream. I was asking, is Rose selfish? All of this. Yeah. I asked all of those questions. So if you watch the stream, I'm actually talking all the way through it and giving you my opinion. But caretaker time. So is everybody in the chat ready? Yeah, but have you watched? The point is, Willie, have you watched the episode?
He said he watched it.
Right. Well, then fair enough. As I said, you're entitled to that opinion, but what I would say to you is I actually disagree with you. But you've watched the episode, so fair play. So I apologise. There you go. Right? I can fucking apologise when I bang over her. But I don't think I was. I'm just making the point that this is the way fandom is behaving now. And I thought House of Dragon was very good. And by the way, Cheryl's never watched Game of Thrones. She's watching House of Dragon first, but she will watch Game of Thrones. But she loved the first episode as well, and she's never watched any of those shows. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. For me, it started off very well. Let's see what happens in the second episode. Because remember, the studios can be very clever. Give us a first episode and give us the impression that it's going to be great. It's always the second or third episode is where we judge, and that's where I'll judge House of Dragon. Yeah. That's where I'll leave it. So it's all
fun Tony I've ever seen in a while.
You're being programmed, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, just before we get into it,
I'm not talking about House of Dragon now. So you can keep House of Dragon out now and talk about the episode that we're watching, which is the Caretaker. Okay, we will be doing a stream on House of Dragon. So if you have any opinions on House of Dragon, keep them until I put the stream up, and it'll be. What day is it tomorrow?
Thursday.
I'll probably do it tomorrow. I'll see if there's nothing else on. I'll do it tomorrow, and then you can come in and give me your opinion about House of Dragon. Right? I don't want to do it today. I don't want to have an argument or fall out with people. It's already happened, and this is getting ridiculous. And I'm starting to get stressed again After all those months of having relative peace, my blood pressure has gone through the roof now, and people need to stop. And people need to stop sending me shit, telling me that people are talking about me, because it's fucking making it worse. Okay?
Yeah.
It needs to stop, right? So just leave it, because I want to go back to my peaceful place. Right, let's do this. So, if everybody in the chat is ready, press 1. Let me know. And I think everybody on the panel is way ready now.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm lightheaded.
Calm down.
Calm blue ocean, my friend. Calm blue ocean.
It's not that I'm being hit from all sides now, man.
No, no.
I'm being hit.
Yeah.
I'm being hit from all sides now. Even people that are supposed to be me friends are taught where. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like it always is. It's another bump in the road, but we'll get.
You've
through
turned
it
into
as we
Babylon
always do.
5 now. You're stuck in the middle while everyone else is having a fight.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. I just want to be left in peace, man. Is that too much to fucking ask?
Right, we've got like 3 ones. Do you want to?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, and our new guy. If it's a guy, sorry, I apologize if I misgendered you. What?
I think it's a girl.
That it's a girl.
Might be.
I honestly can't tell by the picture.
On comics says we love you, mate.
Sorry, we misgendered you.
I know you guys do. You are always here to support me. Look, I'm not worried about you guys. It's just a few. Look, it does get me down sometimes. I'm not going to lie. But I am getting better at not answering back to people. But when someone's accusing me of the stuff that they're,
it's a girl now.
It's a girl. I do apologize. Then I do apologize. As I said, I am sorry if I did misgender you. But welcome to the channel. Nice to see you. And we're about to get the Queen to do the countdown. So without further ado, Queen Charlotte, you go ahead.
Yep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good beginning to this episode.
Oh, it's a good beginning.
Yeah.
Am I watching the right one?
Desert beginning.
The
desert at the beginning with 2 sons that are chained up?
Yeah. That's the one.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen this episode.
It's got a great beginning, but it's just it's terrible.
Oh, we'll get into it, but I have real issues with the character writing in this episode.
Yeah.
Real, like, what on earth?
I think it was meant to be funny. I think that the way the writer was trying to convey it all was trying to make a kind of comedy episode out of this, but it just doesn't really work.
Well,
a bit Hollyoaks to me.
The problem is, I agree, I think he was trying to, because this is Gareth Roberts writing with Moffat. So
I mean, that's always give Moffat credit. He always tried.
Do you know what I don't like about this? Why I don't like Clara as well is like that the Doctor is willing to just pick her up whenever she feels like going on an adventure. I know he turns up and she does go with him sometimes, but I just
she's got some sort of privilege to be there. You know, it's Clara suffering a god complex.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is you've got her trying to fit both.
Yeah.
And just thinking.
Well, I do love. Go ahead, Charlotte. Sorry.
Well, it's just that she's because she's trying to fit both in. It feels like she's devaluing the adventures because they're just like something like you said. She decides when she wants to go and do it.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Because it works on you. I mean.
There's some good one-liners.
The people, that's what I mean. The people. We do say that Clara kind of lectures the Doctor, but there are a few times where he does actually put her in her place.
Subtly, yeah.
But I just wanted to make the point that I actually love Jenna Coleman as an actress.
Oh yeah.
And I did love Victoria and Clara. Moffat, if you're listening, why didn't you just keep Victoria and Clara? That would have been amazing, bringing her to the future, her reaction, all of that. It would have been great.
And I'm sorry, I don't think you'd get the same level of superiority in a Victorian
No, you wouldn't,
Clara.
because she'd be a totally different character. Let's be honest about her.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, and I think also, John, what you were saying, they are trying to do a comedy episode, but there's a whole bit of the dialogue that's all about soldiers and war.
Yeah.
Like you can't have that in your funny comedy episode.
I was actually talking to Cheryl about that because the one thing that kind of rubs me up the wrong way is his reaction to what's his face?
Danny.
Yeah, Danny Pink. Because, he worked for UNIT and stuff. You know what I mean? And then his reaction against soldiers just didn't make sense to me.
Doctor.
But then maybe because of what he's been through since then, maybe. But still, it just seemed for me a bit out of character. Because, there was remember the part where he basically, UNIT. Like, he literally worked for you. Well, he did work for UNIT, not literally. He worked for UNIT. So to have such a disdain towards Danny, because he was a soldier, maybe it was because he was seeing a bit of, I think Cheryl said this to me, maybe it was the doctor could see a bit of himself in Danny. And I think you said that as well, Charlotte, maybe we did this time.
Well, I think we were talking about in another episode, and I think the thing with the Danny and Doctor thing, that they're both mirrors to each other, and they don't like that. Like, they both, it's that whole thing of sometimes somebody's too similar to you, so you don't get on. And I think there's some of that. And I think they both have, and the other thing is, they both have hang-ups from being soldiers.
Yeah.
So it almost becomes like my hang-up is better than your hang-up. Like, it becomes almost a competition between themselves.
I mean, that's good. I mean, I was just going to say that's a good point there. Clara is trying to juggle everything, tells the doctor what to do. Present day Clara is bossy. Yeah. Victorian Clara was more interested. We agree. I mean, even when she did, I mean, the Snowman episode, I mean, was brilliant. I mean, Victorian Clara was just brilliant. Moffat.
Yeah.
I think the bigger problem for me with the Danny thing, once you start to see his attitude, is it's also mixed in with this almost jealous vibe.
Yeah.
That Moffat's like writing, especially in this episode.
Oh yeah, the doctor is definitely jealous of Danny Pink taking a bit of the attention away from him and Clara. There's definitely a bit of jealousy there, but people will pick up on that and say it was because because the doctor had romantic feelings for Clara, and I don't agree with that.
The problem is, Noel, it's almost written like that in this episode.
Yeah.
It is all
like a jealous ex and stuff. Yeah.
It's written, especially when you get the bit when he thinks she's with the other teacher.
Yeah, I know. And it's because he was like his older incarnation.
Because he was the spit of Matt. And it's just like, okay, now this is weird X vibes almost.
Yeah.
Which I just find that's creepy. I'm sorry, I just find that so creepy.
Altus.
Jamie did make a point there. The third doctor didn't really have a choice. Pretty confident in the doctor's mind. UNIT worked for him. LOL. Well, I suppose you are right. He didn't have a choice because he was stuck on Earth. But in reality, he is the doctor. I mean, what could the Brigadier really do? The Brigadier couldn't really hold him. He could have probably went and done something else. I don't know. To me, it just seems a little bit. But as Charlotte said, there is a bit of jealousy there. But I also think that the doctor sees a bit of himself in Danny.
Yeah, he tells about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's the way it's written, it's very clumsy. And it could have been written with a lot more finesse. This whole soldier thing.
Actually, that's a good point there from TARDIS Spider. Clara thought she was a Time Lord. Well, she got arrogant and she did start to believe that, because remember that episode, the scribbly episode, which I think is a great episode, but that's the one where Flatline. But that's the one where she calls herself the Doctor.
Well, no, it's like you see it in the scene when in a couple of minutes when he's like knocking on the window, and she's all like, "Oh, because you know that because you've been on the holiday," and he just says to her, "I've read the biography."
Yeah.
And it's just like she's so like uppity and sure of herself, where she's like, "Oh, of course it's this reason." He's like, "No, I just actually read the book."
Yeah, I remember Moffat's half apology for the season when he turned around and goes, Clara doesn't know she's not the star of the show. And it's like, just makes us say you messed up Moffat.
Yeah, she's acting like she is. That's the issue.
Yeah.
And it's like here when she's like basically shouting at him, being like, "Oh, you can't do this. You can't go and deliver. You can't be this. You can't be that." It's like, stop telling him what he can't be.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just since the Doctor had regenerated, she's been like this.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been like kind of self-centered, bullying, all about her and that.
Yeah.
And,
but I
wish
think
Matt never said what he did to her.
I think there is. I think she has. I'm gonna defend her here a little bit. I can't believe I'm gonna do this, but I'll defend her here a little bit. Maybe we don't realize. Maybe she was more traumatized by the regeneration than we were. The way, obviously, it wasn't written that way, but maybe that is the thing. Maybe she was. That regeneration had actually affected her more mentally, if you get what I'm saying. Maybe she was having a bit of a nervous breakdown.
I would agree with you if she was a normal companion, but she was. She went into his timeline.
Yeah.
She saw all the other incarnations. She saw all the classic Doctors, where actually being young was the exception.
Could that have done something to her, though, being in the Doctor's time stream affect her in some way?
She wouldn't have like a Time Lord, though, would she? Unless she's still got
No, I'm not saying that she'd become a Time Lord, but maybe because she was in the Doctor's time stream, she was maybe absorbing some information, or maybe it altered her brain in
she was
some
just
way.
Him. Yeah. She wasn't Pym.
I'm just trying to, it's an interesting conversation. Obviously, I don't. I just think she was being a bit of a bossy one.
It's more like, and this is what I thought watching bits of this episode, it's like she doesn't trust him at all.
Yeah.
Even though she does sort of allude to that when Danny's questioning her. Why are you acting like this now when she's like scared to death that he's in the school?
Yeah.
It's like the Doctor wouldn't just get everybody killed.
I need to ask you I need to ask you fellow Brits a question. Well, not fellow Brits. I need to ask you Brits a question, because I just find something funny in this. Obviously, Doctor Who's very British and stuff, and that's what I do love about it. But in fairness, do they have fucking Union Jacks flying in fucking schools like that, hanging out the ceilings?
Schools, yes.
Not really.
Do they?
No, I think if it's a really old school, you might see the odd one.
Private schools, definitely.
Yeah, private. That's what
Scottish Stavros and friends wrestle with pop culture. Says, please don't defend Clara. I'm only messing. I know. We know you don't like Clara. But Jenna Coleman, she is a great actress. She's been in that Titanic series that I watched, and I love her in that. She actually has one of the saddest stories in that. I was nearly crying for her. I was.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched Victoria, I'm not going to lie, but I heard she's brilliant in that. I just haven't gotten around to it because I have watched The Tudors. I do like shows about the royal family. I watched The Crown as well. So I haven't watched Victoria yet. But because it's produced by ITV, I kind of don't really trust it. If it was done by a HBO Max or something, or Netflix like The Crown was, I'd probably watch it a lot faster, because ITV tends to sugarcoat it a little bit, don't they?
Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And embellish, exactly. But they sugarcoat it.
Tone stuff down, don't they?
Yeah, and I don't get the whole PE
it's got
joke.
a top on.
I don't quite understand the whole PE joke. Like, why is the doctor?
But the thing as well is, right, he thinks it's this guy. He actually thinks it's... And you know why, though? Look at his face. Look at his nose. Look at the doctor's face.
He's
look at the doctor's nose.
To Matt.
Yeah.
I bet it was one of Matt's... I bet it was one of Matt's doubles.
Yeah, he could easily pull it off, couldn't he?
Oh, you've got Thingy's tune background.
The Tudors was life-changing for my oldest daughter, says TARDIS Spider. Oh, she makes period dresses now. Wow.
Oh, wow, cool. That's skillful.
From the inspiration of watching the show, I mean, the costumes in that show are absolutely... Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, to me, I've always said this, that was his best role, but it nearly killed him because he literally went to dark places doing that. And they actually, between season 3 and season 4, they actually gave him they actually stopped filming the show so he could go to rehab to get himself sorted. They didn't want to actually... The Tudors was originally supposed to get seven seasons, but it only got the 4 because then by the time, because they squeezed everything into season 3 and season 4 because they knew that he wouldn't be able to, because it brought him to dark places. But he's gotten himself sorted now.
Brick in the wall.
Raymond says, she, and this is my opinion, she was great in The Sandman. I haven't watched The Sandman yet.
Good in that.
But I have heard people say good things, and of course we've seen all the usual suspects with their negativity. So, I mean, look, I don't listen to them anymore. I'm going to be honest, I don't listen to anybody now. Just go in and watch. It's the same. The other night I actually watched Terminator Dark Fate, right? And that movie has been slated to bits. But in this case, they were justified. Yeah. It is a horrible movie. They killed John Connor off. I'll never forgive them.
Yeah, the accent's fun, Jamie, in Sandman.
She wore an 18th century ballroom gown to a ball last season.
Wow. And
awesome.
Those are heavy things as well.
I know, and they're not easy to design. Have you seen the detail that goes into those fucking dresses, man?
The bustle and the skeleton, thingy underneath.
Jamie says he does love her in Sandman, but her accent is all over the place. She can't do accents. I'm sorry, but Jenna Coleman, like Jodie Whittaker, can't do accents.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the character she's based off is a Scouser. So she tries to do a version of a northern accent because that's what the character was from, that part of the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that character was replaced in this episode with someone else in the Forest of the Night? I got a feeling she was replaced in Forest of the Night.
What
with the other girl?
No, with the young kid with the young what's it called, the anger management kid.
Oh, well, you had Courtney in this.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the child in. Was it a lad,
the girl that was shaking her head and doing all the mad stuff? Yeah, you're talking about her.
No, I'm talking about the anger management kid.
It was a lad in the night of. I
just got to think Courtney was, probably got on everyone's nerves by the end. They just replaced her.
But why, Moffat? Why did you keep doing this thing with children? As actors, just no.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd done that in with the Beast Below. He had a lot of children in that, and
yeah. But think about this episode though; it's a bit better now after we've seen Class and Rick and Morty. To tell the truth, because there's a bit of a about Capaldi. There's a bit of a Rick and Morty kind of thing going on. I've noticed that.
Well, he's spiky in this episode, and it's fun spiky.
Yeah.
Like when he's having to deal with the kids.
Yeah.
It's just like, I wish that I could speak like that sometimes when it comes to what I do, but I wouldn't get away with it.
Yeah. Jenna Coleman is from Blackpool.
Oh, they should have used that, her actual voice, not this fake accent she put on.
Yeah. Her mum's got much stronger. Olivia Coleman's got a stronger accent. When she really shows her accent, but she can do voices.
I do like the robot though in this. It's a very cool design.
It's Danny V.
It's a shame it was just in one episode. Like it could have. I would have liked for it to pop up again.
Yeah.
Because you can tell it's a proper practical thing as well.
It was a practical robot because in the original, the behind the scenes video, they actually covered it up. Well, you can't look at that. You can't look at that when they're looking at the props and all that. You showing the old Daleks and stuff.
Yeah, because it's a proper impressive. You can tell they put effort into it.
It's a shame they used it once.
Yeah, that's what I said. They should have found a way to have another version or something.
Yeah. I think it just ended up on the experience, didn't it, in the end?
Probably. A lot of stuff ended up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't need you this time. I'll see you tomorrow. But look at her face when he said that.
Yeah.
That's a proper, I'm being shouted at and I don't like it, though.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Like, she goes from moaning about being with him and traveling to now being, like, controlling and needing and, like, having to know what he's up to.
But the fact that he thinks it's the English teacher, isn't it the English teacher? Yeah.
Yes.
He thinks it's the English teacher. He didn't even consider Danny because obviously Danny had to think told me he was a soldier already, wasn't it? Yeah. That's already happened, hasn't it?
Yeah, he knew about
Doesn't he know she's been on a date with Danny, though?
Oh, come
on. No,
he
because he always seemed to show up.
Was that in Listen?
Yeah, but in Listen, he didn't actually go out to the restaurant. Remember? That was his relative. What's his name? Orson Pink or something.
Orson Pink, which makes no sense because of what happened.
No, but it's like if I were Clara, I'd be like, okay, like you've got this one.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy having a night off.
I don't like the way they've graded this though. You can tell it's like graded this film. It's a bit warmer than it should look, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
To see, Danny would have worked, man, if he had had conviction and stuck with it, you know.
Yeah.
I like Danny. I actually do like Danny. I mean, the episode where the kids, when London has turned into a big forest.
He's good in that one.
I mean, he's good in that one. That's where he's in his element. He was actually a decent character. It's just.
He was so
and I mean, even that scene with the creature's faces, the dream within the dream within the dream within the dream. I mean, even there he has a good scene. He's actually not bad.
The problem is, I honestly feel like Moffat sabotaged his character.
Yeah.
And I think in this episode, he really sabotages him. Because as soon as he starts interacting with the Doctor, he's so unlikable, Danny.
But also at the same time, the Doctor's attitude towards him is kind of justified the way Danny is feeling. But you're right, it does seem deliberate sabotage. I mean, if you weren't going to keep him and you're going to have him, fair enough, but handle it a different way, at least.
Yeah.
Well, because I was like thinking about this, it's like, do you know what I think a better way to write Danny? You could keep the soldier a bit, but you could actually have this idea of Danny looking at the Doctor and actually recognizing the whole trauma aspect of war in the Doctor. Because when you hear soldiers speak, they do all have this sort of shared experience. Yeah. And you can see a lot of the time they can recognize it in each other.
Yeah.
And I just find it a bit crazy that Danny
he didn't really seem like a traumatized vet, did he?
No, that's what I mean. I think they would have had him as this soldier with PTSD issues still, but he's like a teacher and he's trying to get through it. Yeah. And then have the Doctor come across him and be like, oh, I've been there and I'm still processing it. Yeah. And then you could have them help each other process their own PTSD.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I mean, because there could have been moments where Danny got really traumatized for no reason and they could have played on it.
Yeah. he's the problem is he comes across as cocky, and I think that's the wrong way they did with his character. Because like in the Voice of the Night, he's not cocky. He's brave. Yeah. He's helping the kids. Whereas here, as soon as he realizes what the Doctor is, he's very like his back's up, and he's like sarky with him.
Yeah, I know. He just came off too rash and cocky, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand why the Doctor is angry with Danny here, because Danny fucked it up by taking the thing out of the plant.
Yeah.
But
on fire alarm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I almost think it comes across at this bit of the episode. He's just frustrated with everybody. Like he's just like, I've come here to try and do my job without interfering with anybody, and you're all messing my job up. Like Clara's interfering, you're interfering.
Yeah, it's much better than say Rick and Morty. I understand the Doctor's a bit like Rick in this one.
Oh yeah, he's like just at the end of his tether almost, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't get why Clara tries to do the whole "it's a play."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just tell him. He's seen it now.
Yeah.
I could understand if like he hadn't seen anything alien, then you would still try and lie. But he's blatantly seen the robot now.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Thank you for popping in, TARDIS Spider. You look after yourself and stay safe.
Yeah, later, TARDIS Spider.
This is the thing I don't like, though. She should have told Danny, though.
Yes.
She should have told him from day one. I'm sorry, he mightn't believe her and think she's a bit of a crackpot, but she should have told him.
Yeah, like that. I do, when the scenes when he's angry at her, you do buy it because it makes sense that he would be.
I thought Danny would have more of a breakdown at this point, though, about it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
see if they introduced Danny Pink from the very start. I mean, what if it was like a kind of part of that era and Deep Breath or something like that, and like it was something else, and then a different kind of character.
Or what I know we sort of had it with Mickey and Rose, but if Moffat could do that sort of thing again, but different, where you could gradually see the relationship get tense and angry because of the traveling, but do like a slightly different take on that idea. I think that would have worked.
Just told him.
Oh,
you would go with a PE teacher.
See, this is the thing I don't get. It's the whole thing against. It just seems forced.
Yeah.
It's like, Moffat, did you have a bad PE teacher when you were a kid or something?
Yeah, who was a soldier.
that you're just like having some therapy on screen right now.
The thing about it, Doctor doesn't hate all the military. He just hates a few idiots in it.
Yeah.
I think I've always understood it as he doesn't hate like the soldier level stuff. He hates the higher ups.
That's it. He's always been fun with the grunts. And suddenly now he hates them. It's like, why?
I think it's because of the amount of time the Doctor has been travelling on his own and that, and for years and years, that he's become more like he's the important one. He's the one to get involved in the situations, and he's the one in charge.
Yeah.
While nobody else is above him. His intelligence has gone completely beyond it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can sometimes sort of put himself above people too much.
I mean, see, again, this could have been an opportunity where the doctor take Danny on a proper adventure or something and try to understand him, at least for Clara's sake, you know, because his reaction is ridiculous. I don't get this reaction at all.
Yeah.
It's actually making me angry. Why would the doctor be reacting like that? Because she's going out with I don't get it. I really don't. Unless everybody is right and he did have romantic feelings for her, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't get my head around that.
The problem was if you're going to do the whole jealousy thing, go for it. But they didn't fully do it. So it was just like an almost half measure that you weren't quite sure. Is it jealousy? Is it the soldier?
Yeah.
Is it just that another thing it could be, maybe this incarnation is just extra protective.
Yeah.
Compared to other.
I think
well, in fairness, he does do things to kind of reinforce your belief that maybe it could be protection. Remember the part where she's throwing the TARDIS keys in the lava, and he says, "Do you think I think so little of you that I wouldn't help you," or something like that? The line was,
that I'd abandon you or something, I think.
Yeah, so you have a point there, Charlotte, but it just feels so forced.
Yes,
it came out of nowhere. Like,
it almost felt like Moffat just wanted the relationship to be this hurdle, and he may find any way to have it be an issue, because that's what he wanted to do for the Doctor companion dynamic.
The Doctor thinks soldiers can only teach PE. They're all brawn and no brains. Well, he does actually make some sort of, I think in a later episode, is it the Dalek one where they go into the Dalek? Oh, have we already watched that one?
We've had that one.
Didn't there? Wasn't there a line in that one where he was criticising soldiers? These are all brawn but no brains or something. I think he actually did use that line.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. I just don't get. I'm sorry, unless I just don't get why he'd be reacting like that. Like,
and then
even in season 1 and 10 Downing Street, he's all chummy with them. Oh, look, you want aliens? They're in the 10 Downing Street. He only
gets angry when one shoots a pig. That's the only time he gets angry.
Well, the problem is that he's had this reaction here, and then I think the reaction he has in a couple of scenes with Danny, I think it flips then he's actually justified when Danny starts mouthing off at him, because I think then Danny's in the wrong in that moment, and actually the Doctor's got every right. So it's like you got one justified response to Danny, and then you've got this one which, just like you said, feels like you're jumping the gun almost, Doctor, at hating this fella.
Yeah.
And then another thing I don't like, he makes it about himself. Yeah, I get the fact she didn't tell you, but just because she travels through time and space and shit, mate, she still obviously fancies you. Like, get over it. I'd be delighted my girlfriend can travel through time. Can I go with you?
Yeah.
Well, the way I
that's just me as a Doctor Who fan. Can I go with you?
Well, the scene when they are talking about it, it's almost like she thinks less of him versus traveling with the Doctor, because he's like, why'd you do it? Oh, and she's like, oh, it's just amazing, and I see these things, and he's like, well, you didn't tell me about seeing those things.
Yeah.
Scottish Stavros and friends wrestle with pop culture. Say the problem was we never showed the Clara and Danny relationship enough on screen, and he never bought it. I think that is one of the big criticisms, and I think that's justified. If you're going to give the companion a boyfriend, then you do it like Rory and Amy, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the way I think that's the way you should do it. You know, you have to have the boyfriend on board whether you like it or not. Because there has to be that conflict between the Doctor and the boyfriend, like there was with Rory and the Doctor. Remember, Rory, Rory got some stick, But when the time came, you know, he was there. He waited for Amy. You know, the girl who waited. I mean, that is one of the most heartbreaking episodes that you'll see. But he gives out to the doctor. He says, "Well, it's your fault. Like, you know, we're in this position and all of this. This is what you do. You know, you're not careful when you travel with people. You never think of the consequences." So Rory does give him quite a bit of stick.
But the difference is, when Rory says that, he's actually seen Amy with the doctor. He's actually seen how she acts.
Yeah.
So there's actually a basis for him to say that, whereas Danny hasn't seen Clara with the doctor. He's not seen an adventure to justify, like, basically what he says at the end, where it's like, well, I'm going to leave you if you lie to me. And it's just like, well, you've not seen the dynamic, mate. You can't.
This bit, though.
Oh, is he invisible?
Yes, sir. No, sir. This bit annoyed me. It's the bit annoyed me in this episode.
This is the bit that I mean. I think Danny's the one in the wrong in this scene.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he is kind of saying to the doctor, well, you do kind of use people, so you are kind of like a general. Because what do generals do? They send people to war. Yeah. So I think Danny does have a point to a certain extent, but was this the time and the place to do it? Like, I know there's conflict and stuff, but I don't know. I think there is a little bit of justification for it.
Well, that's it. My problem is,
Go on.
No, if he hasn't seen how the doctor is with Clara enough to justify this.
Oh, I get what you're saying, because he hasn't actually seen the doctor in action, just where he's seen him in action now, so he's judging him based off that and not judging him. I get what you're saying now, yeah. Well, that actually, I'll give you that one.
And the fact that he's come in with the watch being invisible. Yeah. And Clara, I don't like Clara that she's allowed. She's basically, for me, she's been a bit of a betraying of trust here with the doctor. That she allowed her boyfriend to just wander in so she could prove a point. And the doctor instantly knows he's there. So of course he's going to have that thing of, well, you don't really want to be with him, almost, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who's been tricked and he's reacting to that.
No, down the street he was dealing with unit, not the regular soldiers, and I could be wrong. He see a difference. No, fair point.
Yeah, he could see a difference.
Fair point. As I said, you know.
And my problem is with Danny in this scene. I'm sorry, if you could see that the doctor, the way he was acting, it was getting to the doctor. And I know that's why he was doing it. But you waltz into somebody's home, trick them, and then you give them lip, and you try and get them angry, and you purposely basically dig at a very sore point, because you can see it in the doctor's face.
Yeah.
You can see Danny is like poking something that he really shouldn't be poking, in a sense. This idea of being a general.
Yeah.
And like as soon as he hears Time Lord.
That reminds me of the proton pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
David Tennant had one a while ago.
Yeah, well, he had the bag with the bubble on it. I mean, and he had a tube coming out of it. Like, but I don't know. I don't really. I mean, it was funny because he said, "I'm afraid of no gut." Like, I like that part.
They knew what they were doing.
Actually, that's a great two-parter.
Oh, my ghost, yeah.
I'll be getting to that soon with me watch-alongs. Oh, we've lost.
Oh, PD. I know PD. Sorry,
no,
PD.
Real Super Doctor. Sometimes it happens, but if he comes back, we'll add him back.
Oh, there are storms. A storm's coming up.
Yeah, well, we've got some weird-ass clouds here, mate. I don't know what's going on with this weather. The sun, I don't know if you have noticed. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. It's very orange all of a sudden.
Oh, there's is solar activity.
Oh, did you see the new pictures of Jupiter?
Oh no.
The the Webb telescope, wherever you call them, fucking
Webb,
they got they got new images of bleeding Jupiter. Oh man.
Mostly some thunderstorms around London at about 3 o'clock in the morning. But they're all over the country at the moment. So hopefully be back. But wow.
Well, in fairness, that reaction is a bit justified after what just happened, as Charlotte said. It is kind of justified. Yeah. You can kind of see both sides of their point of view, can't you? But it's because I think Charlotte is right. I think it's written clunky and it's not.
Yeah, it's a very clunky episode.
But I love this music. Murray got... everybody said Murray had actually burnt out. I think Peter Capaldi's era is where his music gets better. Actually,
season 8, Noel is. There's a lot of music they left out, which was really good, and they just kind of used like stock music. It kind of annoyed me a bit because Murray wrote some really good stuff.
I mean, it's a good old robot, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's got a lip mic. Yeah. Ribbon microphone. Old ribbon mic.
But it shows like the intelligence, which is like, I do like this, the fact that he had to obviously, he had a plan and it got ruined. And he's instantly like, oh, okay, new plan. And you see him make this machine. So you do see just how clever and how on the ball the Doctor is in this episode.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I get he's a soldier and stuff, but come on, doing the back fucking flips. Well, not a front flip over at the blade and get away.
And also, it really, you can tell it's a stunt double as well. That's the issue.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not the actor.
The Doctor just did it. Love the Doctor's face. He's being all swabbed like James Bond.
But the Doctor realises here that Danny will protect her at all costs, though, now.
Yeah, he has earned a bit of credit now with him.
But I don't get it. Why is she so important?
Yeah.
Because she's Clara.
But even his face there and his reactions, like as if he's heartbroken.
Yeah.
And he just dumps the fucking robot into space. I mean, that's typical Doctor. Oh, this kid. I actually love this kid. I thought she was brilliant in it.
I find her annoying.
Yeah, I do PD as well.
She's about to get sick.
That's why she got space sickness, doesn't she? We don't. I feel like they replaced her in Forest of the Night for the anger management kid.
Yeah, I can remember her not going down well in the fandom, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's the second after Kill the Moon, she disappears. You don't see her again.
Oh, Kill the Moon. Oh, no way. That's next week. Guys, we're just going to have to,
but when I was looking at iPlayer, I think after Kill the Moon, it's Mummy.
Oh, the Mummy on the Orient Express.
I think that's
love
after
it.
Kill the Moon. I could be wrong. When I was looking on iPlayer today.
Mummy on the Orient Express. I love that episode. Now, remember in the Stolen Earth 2 part of Davros showed the Doctor his true self, so that line with Danny is kind of a callback to that.
Yeah, that's the Doctor's got a lot of issues, and Danny is sort of an unwelcome reminder.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Daniel.
Which has got me thinking, wouldn't it have been interesting in Series 8? We actually had the companion who was a soldier. Yeah. And you could have a whole series working through all those issues.
Yeah.
Well, you could have the soldier do things that the doctor could send Danny out to do the things that he wouldn't be able to do. But in fairness, he has blown up whole worlds and galaxies and shit. So, well, I mean, not this doctor. I mean, the latest incarnation has literally destroyed the whole universe.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, how many billions and billions of lives
were
lost there? Oh, Jesus killed the moon, says Daniel. Yeah. Danny jumping over the robot is epic. I just found it a bit silly, but yeah, I mean, you know, I do know that, you know, for certain things they put stuff in that to make it more exciting, and it was, in fairness, it was, but it just looks silly.
It's because it was so coordinated to look at. Maybe it was a bit more rough when maybe we'd have bought it a bit more.
Oh, we're back to this whole heaven.
Oh yeah,
business.
Yeah. So I remember I think he did a good job when it came to teasing Missy, and it was actually a good little mystery in Series 8, like who on earth she was.
Yeah.
Because I so prefer it when a master does have some sort of long game. I just think it suits the character. I prefer that over oh hello, I'm here. Okay, I'm instantly telling you I'm the master. It's like, thanks.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, I hate this episode. Well, up till the last part of it. Hey everyone, just popping in to wish you all a good evening, says TARDIS time. Oh, Jesus killed the moon, says Scottish Lavros, and friends wrestle with pop culture. We don't talk about Kill the Moon, says TARDIS time, and he also adds, think Moffat must have been on something to approve the moon egg. Well, in fairness, I think he got it from, as you know, there's several conspiracy theories about the moon, and one of them is it's a moon base. Another one was it was an egg. So there's been that's what he's done. He's literally taken the conspiracy theory and made a story out of it.
They said take another story and just run with that like someone else does.
So there you go. I mean, look, it's all just right up until the end of that episode. Yeah. I mean, the episode's not bad itself until it gets to the end part. And in fairness, if they're standing on the beach the way they were, a big tidal wave would have come in and killed it.
Or there wouldn't be any waves, full stop.
Or there wouldn't be any waves, full stop. Exactly. So yeah. So some of it didn't make any sense, but still,
there wouldn't be any wind. Everything would just be flat.
Yeah, we'll get to that one next week, though. So Charlotte loves the because I think he left out because when he was typing, it happens to me all the fucking time. Actually, I get bleeding letters mixed up now. I think I'm starting to go senile or something. But there you go. That's for another day. But anyway, Charlotte loves the master. Says Daniel.
You know I like the master. I just can't stand how Modern Who's done them.
Yeah. Anyway, let's start off with the Queen, and we'll get our rating and what she thought of the episode.
Yeah, I will start with the positives, even though I spent a lot of time moaning. I do. There are some quite good comedy bits. Like I said, this is Moffat and Gareth Roberts, and you can definitely see some of that comedy come through. When it's the little stuff with the Doctor interacting with some of the kids, and even Clara in some moments, there's some really funny lines. Capaldi's been spiky, and I actually most of the time I find that spiky quite good fun to watch. Sort of this Doctor being in this unfamiliar setting for him, it's quite fun. And the robot's really nice, really lovely practical effect. And I actually think it was a nice it actually was quite dangerous, and you felt that in the episode. So those are the good things. But I just find so many character writing moments just nonsensical.
Yeah.
Like we've said, Danny, it's his issues with the Doctor come across as petty, and he's a bit too cocky, and he's just purposely trying to get the Doctor angry. And I don't think it's ever really justified that. It's never really understood why he's so instantly against the Doctor. Like I said, if he would have been in an episode on an adventure, and then he would have seen Clara being put in danger, and he would have seen how this Doctor can be a bit commanding officer, but the fact that he's not seen it and he's just instantly spitting out these lines, I don't buy it because of that. Danny needed to be in an episode before this, in an adventure, to justify the reaction we see here. The Doctor, I don't get the whole weird jealousy thing. That I think that's what it comes across to me, with the fact that he thinks Clara's dating the lookalike for Matt, and the sort of way he's like, he's not good enough for you almost. It's like when you've established you're not interested romantically in this incarnation, but then to act this jealous and sort of petty as well in bits, it just doesn't suit the Doctor.
Yeah.
And once again, you've got Clara, who's just, she's trying to have it all again. She's almost playing, I think, Danny and the Doctor against each other. Even if she doesn't know she's doing it, it comes across like that at times. And how she's so adverse to the Doctor being there. Like, I can understand the fact that it's her workplace and there's kids and she cares for them, but it's like overkill with how much she doesn't want the Doctor there. That's the issue. So like I said, there's just character writing moments that I just feel like they come from nowhere. So this episode is a lot of about character dynamics. So you notice it. Whereas if it was just a typical run around, kill monsters, it wouldn't matter if you had a bit of the odd dynamics going. But I think this episode on purpose is trying to explore that almost. So I'll give this a 4.5.
Okay. 4.5 from Queen Charlotte. Scottish Stavros and friends wrestle with pop culture. Give it a 5 out of 10. Great acting, but messy script. I'm going to give it I'll be generous. I'll go the same rating as Charlotte, 4.5. For the simple reason is that obviously, you know, Charlotte has made a lot of the points that I wanted to make, actually, so it's going to sound a bit stupid repeating, but it's a lot of this just doesn't, to me, the Doctor's behavior in particular, right? And I actually do agree with Charlotte. I think there is a little bit of Clara trying to pit the Doctor and Danny up against each other, because I think she really is she's got that bit of an ego and is arrogant and basically wants to see these two blokes fight over her. That's what it felt like to me. So look, Charlotte has already said everything that I was going to say. I was saying that during the episode, so was Charlotte anyway. So you kind of heard what I had to say anyway. So I am going to agree with Charlotte as well and give it a 4 point. I can't give it a 5 like Daniel's given it. I don't. It's one of it's not as good as I remember. And I do remember, even when my brothers were watching this at the time, this was a particular episode, and seeing reaction. This was a particular episode that did kind of divide the fandom quite a lot, actually. So yeah, that's where I stand on it. Jamie Knight gives a 7 out of 10. For the rest of you guys in the chat, if you want to give your rating, that's what we do as well. While the rest of the panel, if you want to give your rating for the episode, please throw it in, and I will throw it up on screen like I did with Daniel. So we throw Daniel's up real quickly, so when the stream goes out, people can actually see people's ratings. And there's Jamie's. So without further ado, I don't know what's happened with Real Super Doctor. but this has happened before, where his internet is completely gone. So he's probably rebooting it. So we'll see if he comes back.
Yeah.
But we'll go with PD now.
Yeah. Well, I completely agree with Charlotte and yourself. I just think it was the Doctor Who parts of the episode were very good, but it was just a bit too melodramatic and whimsical. And they just didn't use Danny Pink to the best they could have used him to. And as I said, Clara was taking over too much. It was a Clara episode. So I think just boiling it up, I think I just give it about a 5, like Daniel.
Right.
Could have been a lot better, but it just was just too Clara centric, and it was like it was just Danny just wasn't utilized. They could have really played on him being a soldier and his PTSD, but they just didn't.
Yeah, I agree, because he was definitely suffering.
Yeah,
from
they
PTSD,
didn't show you the suffering.
and they could have. Again, this has been another thing though in Doctor Who, especially with the current era, that they don't seem to be able to get right.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Raymond O'Reilly gives it a 5.5 out of 10. I mean, it's a mixed bag. I mean, we got a couple of 5s, 5.5, 2 4.5s. No, I think, 2 4.5s and 2 5s. And we got 1 7 out of 10 from Jamie. So Jamie enjoyed it a little bit better than we did, which is great. I love the monsters.
Yeah.
And that gets sick. But there you go. I can't really complain. We all have our favorite episodes, our episodes that we have a soft spot for.
Yeah, the ones that we just get our own little enjoyment when it comes to watching them.
Exactly. Unfortunately, most of us are probably going to be depressed next week when we watch next week's episode. But you never know. You never know. It's been a while. So it might be different this time around. And that has happened with some episodes. Remember, there's a lot of episodes that since we've been doing these watch-alongs that we've actually had poor opinions on. Then we've watched them a second time.
Yeah, I was like that with Time Heist. I forgot how good that was until I watched it again. Episode.
But this season has been very much hit and miss. You have 2 really good episodes, 2 really bad episodes, 2 really good episodes, 2 really bad episodes. Really hit and miss season this one.
Yeah. But Peter is still, for me, I did like that version of the Doctor. Then they tried to course correct.
I love him in season 9. I love that season 9 where he's had the midlife crisis, because it's just so fun. If you know people have had midlife crisis, it's hilarious.
I know, but the whole scene with him coming out on a tank.
Cool. It's like, you know the old saying in midlife crisis, either buy a Porsche or a Harley. You know what I mean?
I know, and he buys a tank. I know, he gets a tank. I know, I get it, but it's still it's a bit dumb to me. I'm sorry, but I suppose you will do stupid things if.
You'll be doing it 10 years' time.
Well, I'm pretty sure. So what John will do, what he normally does, is if he cuts out like this and doesn't come back, he'll put his rating in the comment section. And then what we do is then we if I remember, we read it out anyway. But he'll tell us anyway what he gave, because we do briefly talk about this week's episode next week. If you get it. That making sense, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll get the panel to do their shout outs, and then we'll leave it there, folks, because we'll let everybody get off early tonight, because we had a long ass stream last night, 3 hours with me and Charlotte. Well, actually, me and Charlotte survived the 3 hours, and thanks to Cinnamon for popping in as well. So we'll start with Queen Charlotte. Let everybody know where you're going to be this week.
I'm going to do something different, because I want to plug something I've been listening to, which I've quite enjoyed.
Okay.
And it's because last night you heard me say where I'm going to be. So if you like fan audios on YouTube, there's a channel called Tailored Vision, and they're only half an hour, and I've been re-listening to them because I sort of started and then stopped for some reason. But if you like fan audios, it's really good quality, good production behind it, and I think they're quite good, fun little stories. So if you want to listen to some Doctor Who, check Tailored Vision out. Tailored
Vision. PD, if you could try find that, mate.
I think I found it, yeah.
And throw it in the chat there as we always do. And then, we'll give you a second doing that. And of course, you can find me here And as I said, we'll probably do tomorrow if nothing else happens. If there's no Doctor Who stuff, then we'll come on and we'll talk a little bit House of Dragon. Because it seems to be dividing a lot of people. I will say that. People do have very strong opinions on either side. So we'll do a stream on it because that's what we do. So if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Friday. Because remember, we've no movie watch along until next Friday.
Yeah.
We've got the two movies. So yeah, just to let you know, because I do want to make a big deal out of this. So next week, next Friday. And if you want to be part of the panel, because it's open, John, I think, will be joining me for that one. I don't know. He hasn't told me if he's a fan. So if he is, John will be with me. But if you want to join me next week, right, it'll be the last Monday. Yeah, it's the last Monday, actually, of the month.
This month, yeah.
The 29th of August. And we're doing Sonic the Hedgehog Part 1 and 2 back to back. Now, you don't have to stay for both movies. You can pick a movie if you want to be part of the panel. Of course, it'd be great if you could stay for the two, but if not, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But we're doing them back to back. It kicks off at 6 o'clock, right? Because we're doing it early because obviously we're doing two movies, so it's going to be a long ass stream. So get your popcorn ready. I even threw a trailer up. I did a few little bits and pieces to it, and I stuck it up. What I will do is I'll put it when you go into the channel. It'll be the first video that you see. I'm going to be doing that now when we get closer to the date. But check out the trailer if you haven't. Come and join us because it's going to be fun. And it's Chris Persia's. He loves that franchise, so he's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So if you are fans of Sonic the Hedgehog, join me the 29th of August, the last Monday of the month. And of course, I'll be here with all the other streams. And as I said, we're setting up. I'm trying to set up the guests now for the next interviews that we do. If you haven't checked them out, we've had Charlotte on, of course, and we've had Daniel. We've had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Problem Being. We've had Cultivated Media. Who else have we had?
I think you had Marty.
We had Marty from MCTV on as well. Yeah, we have loads, and you also have your RTD Season 1 member stream watch-alongs where I literally don't shut the fuck up when I'm watching the episodes. So go and check them out. They're good. So Real Super Doctors channel's in there. The Space Book is in there, and we've got that other channel and the Daniel Scottish Davros and Queen Charlotte's channel. Use his proper name. It's Scottish Davros and Friends Wrestle Pop Culture. I'm only joking, PT. You know.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't include Charlotte, okay? We're inclusive here. We're being inclusive.
There's a bit of yeah. We'll leave it there. Listen, enjoy the rest of your night, yeah. And thank you all who popped in.
Yeah, it's been lovely as always to have people in the chat.
It has, and we've also had a new person in the chat today. So I hope you've enjoyed it. This is the type of thing we do on the channel. We also do panels, and I'll be doing a watch along of the centenary. I'll be on camera. That's how I do those ones.
And then the rest of us are going to come on
and then the rest of them come on then for a panel, big panel to discuss that episode. And then, as I said, a new edition on member streams is where I can actually take the shackles off. And because I won't be talking on the panels now, this will be the new thing. When I do the panel, I'll just be hosting and getting their opinion. And then on the member stream, then you go on and you can hear my opinion. The only reason why I'm doing that is because I'll get less hassle. Because, anytime I open my mouth, what happens? I can't say anything negative at all. So, if you just want to hear me have a full-blown rant, if it turns out to be bad, then that'll be where to find it. But we'll leave it there, folks. I want to thank you all for joining us, and everybody that will watch after the fact. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode, because I do read the comments, believe it or not. Not all of them, of course, because you get so many. But I try to read as many as I can. And it'd just be nice to hear and see different opinions. So, yeah, don't be shy. Let us know how you felt about the episode. Right, we're off. See you later, folks.
Get well soon, Lee.
Bye.
Night.
And yeah, get well soon, Lee. And
sending you love.
It's. I will say this though, mate. I know I said to you that if you didn't want to turn up, that you could fake a sickie. I didn't actually think you were going to fake a sickie.
He's gonna have fun with you next time he's on stream.
I'm only messing up now. You hated it, but we'll see you for Kill the Moon, because you ain't getting away with it. We'll see you next week for Kill the Moon. Good night, folks. Good night.
Night.